What does your favorite Stardew Valley farm say about you? As always, no, nothing at all, but let's get started. Standard. You might be an OG player from back before 1.1 gave us Forest, Hilltop, Riverland, and Wilderness farms. Alternatively, you might like just having the most room to plant crops. Having over 3,400 crops on one farm might not be my favorite way to play, but you do you, Standard farm users. If you've ever contemplated a pig city run, this is the place to do it. At the end of the day, Standard Farm is a safe place for any playstyle and good for any player, and that makes it super boring. I'm not saying that you're boring, but I'm heavily implying it. Riverland. Wow, did I say favorite farm? It is a lonely life, calling yourself a Riverland farm lover. I've consistently seen this one at the bottom of polls. I would guess this is your favorite farm because it's the first one you played or you had like an amazing playthrough here. After all, even though it's a nightmare to get around, I had some of my most fun ever on a co-op Riverland farm with my wife. You probably really enjoy fishing and wanted to start on this farm for that reason, but unfortunately, outside of catfish, you're not really getting any of the big hitters on this farm, so that was kind of a waste. Whoops. At least you can go wild with crab pots, but does anyone actually do that without mods? Tough to say. If you watched the last video I made, I called fishing lovers masochists, and I'm trying to think of a more heavy-handed term than masochism because that is for you. Forest. This farm is just objectively the best. I mean, subjectively, sorry, I love the forest farm. There's foraging to help with early game energy and money, there's regrowing hardwood for mid to late game needs, and while this farm has the fewest number of tillable tiles, it still has a ton of building space. Plus, it just nails the aesthetic. And speaking of, you probably have some like cottagecore mods if you're playing on PC, so you can imagine your life as a little solitary farmer living out your days surrounded by beautiful nature. I'm gonna guess you've probably even looked up some land for sale online and considered throwing it all away to start over in a small community. Just a dream though. Get back to work, you peon. Hilltop. You probably played a lot of Sim City or even better Sim Ant when you were younger to love this farm. It's a pain in the butt to design around, but if you have an eye for design, you could really turn this place into a beautiful farm. Not me though, mine's trash from top to bottom, and I have to spend hours walking in roundabout paths to even get to the bottom of the map. What kind of sadist specifically blocks off the bridges with large stumps and boulders that you won't be able to handle for in-game weeks or seasons? Like, why can't I just pick up those planks and move them somewhere else and just leave the rock where it is? I hate it. Not you. You take pleasure in bringing order to chaos, so you must be, I don't know, like an accountant or something. Have fun. Wilderness. Listen, you can turn monsters off now, and you can turn them on for any of the maps, so please stop telling me that you don't like Wilderness because it's scary at night. The Wilderness farm is a weird situation. It has more farming tiles than anything but Standard so far, but the lake in the middle of the farm just turns people off. I've always found it strange that the Wilderness farm appears to be on the edge of a sheer cliff face. To be honest, this is more of a hilltop farm than the actual hilltop farm. That one's just like a hill-y farm instead. Whatever. If you like this farm, then you were probably like an emo kid or something. Scene, maybe, in junior high, high school, I don't know. Nailed it. Four corners. In Stardew Valley, as in life, you simply cannot make a single decision. When someone presents you with three things you want and asks you to choose, you say yes. The Four Corners farm gives you a little bit of the best of everything, but by acting as kind of a jack of all trades, you don't get as much of any one specific thing. This farm is amazing for multiplayer, which makes sense since that's what it was created for, but to me it also functions as a great single-player alternative to the Standard farm. You're getting like 85% of the space from the Standard farm, but you also get some regenerating hardwood and a tiny little quarry. The fishing is zoned to Cindersap, but just like the Forest, Hilltop, and Wilderness farms, you're probably better off just walking to wherever you want to fish, unless you like catching trash. There's an easy joke there, by the way, but I'm better than that. Beach. Man, I was so excited for this farm, and honestly, it's so pretty. The aesthetic is on brand. There's about 1 billion tiles of building space, too. I was just talking about Pig City, but let's reconsider where we plant that flag. There's just one teeny tiny problem here. No sprinklers for 95.63% of the farm. That's no big deal if you have other plans, which you must, since you love this farm so much. If you took this farm to the end of the game, I am more than impressed with your resilience. I understand that there are other places to farm later on, but what am I supposed to do with nearly 5,000 tiles when less than 5% are sprinkler compatible? Here's my guess. You love this farm, but you don't play it much, because when you compare it to your standard farm or forest farm or whatever, you just prefer walking outside to glorious sprinkler automation. You cheat on your beach farm probably half the time you open the game, and oh my gosh, that gives me such a great idea for a thumbnail. What do you think? Is anything I've said in my entire YouTube career true? Am I just a no-good dirty rascal stirring up people's emotions for the views? The answer to one of those questions is yes, and the other is no. You decide which is which. Thanks everybody, I'll see you soon.